Okay, continuing on with lesson 11, you'll want to open sequence 05 Clarity and notice that there are two versions of the same voiceover audio clip in here. The first one is going to be a little bit cleaner than the second one. If you want, go ahead and play through both of them. You can hear the difference. And go ahead and click on your first one. Your essential sound panel is going to open up, and this time we're now going to be looking at clarity. So if it's not already open, click it open, and then you can scroll down to see all the functions for clarity. And it's going to want us to enable dynamics. So we'll find our dynamics box, check that one, and it comes up with 3, and it's also put in the effects control panel, so we can make additional adjustments by hitting edit. And it wants you to do this in real time, so you can make sure your playhead is at the beginning of the clip, and you can play it through first once, see what it sounds like, and then go back and play it and move some of these points.
I was searching for something. I couldn't say what it was, but suffice to say, I would know when I saw it. I wanted to go to New York, but all that construction, and then
you can play it through again and hear the changes that you have made to this one. So that's one of the ways that you can affect the dynamics, and then you close it and it will save those settings. If you didn't like what you did, you can hit reset, and it should take us back to what we had over here, which is just the 3. And then when we close it, it will hold the reset function on that. So that is dynamics under clarity. The next thing it wants us to do is disable the dynamics, and now it wants us to turn EQ on. And you can experiment with some of the preset options, which here are some of the presets that they have. Your diagram illustrates the adjustments that appear, and they're based on the paramedic equalizer effect. So you could check that out again. We've talked about it. And you can adjust the amount of the slider more or less right here, so you can see the line, and you can make adjustments depending on what you need. Again, a lot of it's trial by error. And you pick what sounds good to you. And that's what they want it done to the first clip. So now you're going to look at the second one and highlight it. It's also chosen as dialogue in here, and we're going to enhance the speech option and make sure that the female voice is chosen. So come down here in the clarity section, choose enhance speech, and then I believe we're going to have to come here. That gives us our high tone, low tone music. So we are trying to make sure we have the female voice selected. So let's look over here and see if I do not see the female voice that they're talking about. Maybe when they talk about female voice, as we've read in the past, the high tone usually is the female, and then the low tone would be considered the male voice. So go ahead and leave this as high tone. And then play the second voiceover and see what difference it's made. And you can also try enabling and disabling this here function to see during playback, how it's affecting the clip. This difference with this here enhanced speech is going to be kind of subtle. So depending on your speakers, you may not be hearing much of a difference. You may need to try with some headphones or with a different pair of speakers to actually notice that difference. And you may have come across that with one of our other clips earlier on as well. When you really get into serious audio mixing, having good quality speakers to hear all the high ends and low ends becomes more important. But I know for right now, just having headphones at your desk is probably sufficient. But that is something to think about if you do get further into it. Okay, one of the other things is a creative adjustment. So in the past, we've tried to get rid of reverb. That's when stuff kind of bounces back at us, makes everything a lot louder. But if you choose this here and we want to leave it as a large reflective room. Actually, no, let's change this to warm room. And our amount is good at 5. And then go ahead and play that. Just having this small amount should allow to thicken the voice to give it more presence in the room. So sometimes this will also help with voiceovers. So adding reverb can work to your benefit if it's done correctly. So you want to be mindful of what preset you choose with it versus when we were just trying to clean it up before. So that was something else to check out with this sequence.